Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a PLR setup, and one of the things that's difficult about doing a PLR setup um, on uh, on a webinar is that you often have to go into PayPal, you have to set up a button. Sometimes there's sensitive information, you've got to slide things around. So what I did was I really set this up on my presentation slide. So we're going to go through each section of this, and I'm going to explain it to you. And of course, if you have any questions as we go along, I want you to feel free to jump in and ask as we go. And obviously, one of the first things that we need to do is when you get a PLR package, you want to get it set up on your domain. You want to get it set up on your website. And we're going to go through that process first. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set your PLR up on your domain. We're going to set your PLR up inside of software, and we're going to set your PLR up inside of some kind of media, maybe a CD or DVD, so that you can either give it away or sell it. All right, so one of the first things you're going to do, obviously, is you are going to go and get yourself a domain name. Now, I know most of you already know how to do that, but one of the things that you want to do if you have customers, you definitely want to teach them this stage. So you can go to a site like GoDaddy and pick up a domain name in order to get started. Now, what you probably want to do is you don't want to necessarily pick up one domain name for every piece of PLR that you get. What you want to do is you maybe want to get one domain name, and the domain name can actually be one where you've got your WordPress site on. It can be one where you've already got your blog, but it should be one domain name that kind of represents your brand. If you can get your name, you probably want to do that. CharlesHarper.com or LaurelHarper.com, BrianYates.com, whatever the case is. If you can get your name, try to get your name. If not, try to get your brand. And what you're going to do, obviously, is you're going to do subdirectories with your PLR. So it's going to be BrianYates.com/print on demand playbook, BrianYates.com/Facebook ads, BrianYates.com/YouTube marketing. Does that make sense? Does everybody get that? So does that make sense? So if you sort of get that, please put the number 1 in the question box if that makes sense to you. Okay, very good. So you want to go ahead and get a domain. You're going to need some hosting, right? So typically you would not get your hosting in the same place that you would your domain, but you can, right? If you need to do so for the sake of simplicity and you just need to get started, right, and you don't want to complicate things, GoDaddy has hosting, and you can get it there. If you want to go and get a virtual private server, or you want to get your hosting from GoDaddy, from HostGator, and you want to connect it, that's perfectly fine. But if you just want to get started, and you want it to be the easiest, you can typically get hosting from the same place where you're going to get your domain name. And as you kind of grow, and as you do things that are a little more complex, you can always graduate to go and get hosting elsewhere. You can always move your website to another host. So you're going to need to go and get some hosting. Your hosting is going to give you access to what is called the file manager. And the file manager is that space right up there to the top left. And that's where you're going to be uploading your files to actually put into your subdirectory, right? So inside of your hosting account. Now, in most cases, your host is going to give you access to what's called the control panel. And when you get access to control panel or cPanel, you are then going to be able to access your hosting remotely through a web application called Filezilla, right? So you're going to have to go to the web. Filezilla is a free program. So if you just go and Google Filezilla, it's typically going to be the first result that you see, right? So you're going to go to filezilla.org or Filezilla, and then you're going to download the Filezilla client. And that's going to look like this. Now, you're going to have two choices, obviously. You're going to be able to get the Filezilla client, or you're going to be able to go and get the Filezilla, I think it's for your server. You want to get the Filezilla client, right? Because the Filezilla client is for your computer, your single use, your single operation. Now, when you open up Filezilla, it's going to look something like this, right? When you open it up onto your screen. And Filezilla is going to require for you to get access to your website, the back office to your website, or the file system to your website, you're going to need 3 pieces of information. And you can get this information from your hosting account. If you have any questions about that, just go and ask the host. Use their support. I mean, typically they'll give you this information. They'll send it to you by email. But if you just want to be sure about it, all of the hosting accounts, they have support. I know GoDaddy has support, HostGator has support. You can go and you can ask them what these 3 pieces of information are so that you can FTP up to your site. Now, FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. All that means is that you can access your site remotely, right? And so you're going to need the host information, you're going to need the username information, and you're going to need the password to your hosting account, right? Now, once you get that information, you're going to get access to your file system, right? And you're looking at that like a group of files. In most cases, right, most cases, you are going to see a file system that looks something like this. You are then going to want to access the file system or the file area that says public-html, right? So if you get that part, you're with me so far, please put the number 2 in the question box if you're getting it. If you're not getting it, please put the number 3 in the question box. Okay, very good. So we're going to click inside of that public HTML. And then once we get inside of that directory, what we're going to do is we're going to right-click inside of that directory and create a new directory. Now, when we create a directory, we're actually creating a subdirectory where we're going to put our PLR product. So wherever we want our PLR product, let's say that we're going to put it on our domain. Our domain is danacastle.com, and this PLR product is going to be a Facebook product, so it's going to be danacastle.com/Facebook ads, right? So we're going to create the directory Facebook ads, right? And so when we create the directory, Filezilla is going to give us something like this. Does everybody see where I have written there, new product? That's where you're going to put the name of your directory, right? Let's see. So Heather, you can't see me. Can everybody see this? The Filezilla. Okay. So Brian, you can. Patty, you can. Okay. Heather, you can't see it. Okay. So what you should be able to do. Okay. Great. Okay. Great. Okay. Now. So you want to be able to write your directory right here where it says new product, all right? And whatever you're going to call your directory, you want to write it in. Now, obviously, I called my new product here. You can call yours whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be the product name. It can be whatever you want to name your product directory. Now, once you get inside of that, you're going to double-click your new directory, right? You're going to double-click inside of that new directory. And then you're going to see a totally blank, totally blank area, right? And this is the area where you are going to put your PLR files, right? So all that's going to be inside of Filezilla. You have clicked inside of the directory, and you are then going to be able to drag and drop your files in this area. Now, what you're going to need to do now is you're going to go and get your PLR. And you're going to open up your sales page folder, and the 2 files that you're going to be working with are going to be the index file and your thank you page, thankyoupage.html. Both of those files are going to be the ones that you're going to do change, right? Let's see. So your question is, can't you do the same thing if you have access to the back end of your website? Yes, right. You can actually also do this inside of the file manager system. It's not as easy to drag and drop there. The reason that I use Filezilla and that you want to consider using Filezilla is because you can drag and drop very easily, right? Okay, now, once you start with the index file, what you're going to do is you're going to open this up with an HTML editor, right? Now, what I'm using is Dreamweaver from Creative Cloud. You do not know, you do not need to have Dreamweaver. You can use any of the free HTML editors. You can use something called NVU, or Composer. And there are probably some other ones out there that I don't know about. But use an HTML editor. Is everybody familiar with an HTML editor? Okay, so if you know what one is, right, can you please just put the number 4 in the question box? Okay, so Heather, you know Composer, yes, 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 yes. Okay, everybody, okay, good. Natu, yes, thank you. Dana, yes, good. Okay, so NVU, if you go and you Google NVU and write in HTML editor or Composer, either one of those will work just fine. And some of you are using Dreamweaver, which is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to open up the index file inside of Dreamweaver, right? And so what we're going to do is when we open that file up is we're going to scroll. Now, typically what's going to happen is, do you all see the split screen? So what Dreamweaver does, and I think Composer does this also, is you can actually see the code and the screen at the same time. So what we're going to do is, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor right on top of that Add to Cart button so I can also see the code at the same time. And what I need to do now is I need to add my buy link so that I can make it active with my payment information, right? So you're going to add your buy link here. Now what we're going to need to do in order to get that buy link is we need to go to PayPal, right? So you can probably also do this with JVZoo and Warrior Plus. I'm not going to go over that in this session. That's been covered probably fairly well, and I also covered that in the hackathon. So just so you'll know. Heather says, "Is there going to be a replay?" Yes. Yep. Okay. Yep. There is going to be a replay. Okay, so if you want to create a payment button, you can create a payment button inside of PayPal. So I've logged into PayPal here, and I'm going to go inside my PayPal, and I'm going to go to the area where I can click Create a Payment button for my website, right? And I'm going to click that area. That's going to bring me to Create a New Button, right? So I'm going to create a new button inside of PayPal. Right, once I do that, that's going to take me to this area where I'm going to write in some information. So I'm going to write in my my product name. I'm going to give it an item number. So that can be optional. I'm going to put the price in there. And I'm probably not going to use an Add to Cart button. I'm going to use a Buy Now button, right? So I'm not going to use a drop down. I'm not going to use an add to, and I'm going to customize the text. And I'm going to use a Buy Now button, right? So now that's step 1. I'm going to skip all the way down to step 3 because step 2 does not apply to me, right? It does not apply to me here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in here to step 3. One of the things that you do not want to do, and I've got to check here, does everybody see here where it says name of message by, can you add special, can your customer add special instructions in a message to you? Does everybody see that? Okay, you want to check no there. Right, so, and the reason why you want to check no is because you'd rather have your customer write you through your support desk than to have you writing you messages through PayPal. That's a bad thing. You want to get started. So check no to that. So you don't even want to give the option to that. You want to make sure that any messaging that you get from your customer comes from support. Do you need your customer shipping address? The answer to that is no. Right? You don't need your customer shipping address, so click no. Right? Take customers to this URL when they cancel their checkout. Now you can click that box and you can give them an URL on your site to give them instructions on what they need to do if they cancel your checkout. Typically, it's because they decided, okay, well, I'm still making up my mind about this. So what you want to do is you want to give them some kind of offer. Right? You can give them some kind of instructions they can follow. Maybe they were unsure about what they're buying. So you want to send them to a page. If they check out and they decide not to go through with the purchase, you want to send them someplace, and PayPal will help you to do that. Right now, the last thing is important. It says take your customers to this URL when they finish the checkout. And this is where you're going to send your customer to one of two places. Number one is if your customers bought something from you, you're going to send them to the thank you page here, right? If you have an upsell, you are going to send them to the upsell in that URL box, right? So if that makes sense to you, please put the number 5 in the question box if you get that. Okay, very good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're now going to get our code, right? And so once we finish those processes, PayPal will give us a code. And you're going to notice there are going to be 2 buttons there. One says website, one says email. You are going to click the one that says email. Laurel, somebody wants to know if you're here, and if you're gonna talk any.
I'm here, but I'm listening right now.
All right. So you wanna use the email code, and so what you're gonna do here is you're gonna go forward, and then let's see, we did that part already. We're now going to go back to our page, right? We're going to go back to our page, and we're going to click on this Add to Cart button, right? So we're going to put our cursor back on this Add to Cart button, and then we are going to use the Properties button, right, inside of our HTML editor. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to do that here in a minute. If you don't want to mess with the code, and I don't like messing with the code when I don't have to. It's too easy to get something wrong. I use the Windows menu, and I will go to the properties of this button. So I want to click on this button, and I want to get the properties of that button. Does that make sense? So if you get that, please put the number 4 in the question box. Okay, great. Now, let's keep going. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put that link. Does everybody remember that link that we just got? Okay, we got that link from PayPal. We're going to put that in the properties of that button. So now what that makes that link do is that makes that link clickable. It makes that link clickable, right? So now we can actually then get that link, and when we actually set up our website, that link is now going to go to our PayPal button. Right now, we then need to save this page, and that's very important. I can tell you a number of times when I have forgotten to save the page. It's a necessary step because your changes won't take if you don't save the page. And I know it seems like a minor thing, but it's something that when you start messing with all this detail, it's something that you will from time to time forget. So make sure you save all of your changes to your HTML page. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the thank you page. We're going to open that thank you page up with Dreamweaver. Right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all the components of our product that we're going to deliver, and we're going to zip that stuff up. So we're going to right-click it, and we're going to send it to a compressed file. So this is the content that you're going to deliver to your customer, right? So you want to zip all of that up, everything that you've promised your customer in your sales letter. You want to zip it up and put it into a compressed folder. Then you want to go to some kind of place where you can upload your files. Now, in some cases, I use Microsoft. You can use Dropbox. You can actually use your server. I don't recommend that you put your files in the same place that you're serving your website. And the reason is because sometimes what you can do is when you're actually selling your product, you have and you have some traffic that's happening, you can have some interference, right? And it can cause your server to go sideways sometimes. And you don't really even have to have a lot of traffic in order for that to happen. So I recommend that you use something like Amazon S3. You can use Microsoft. How many of you all know that you get 1 terabyte of space when you subscribe to Microsoft Office? So if you have a subscription to Microsoft Office, you get 1 terabyte of space. So if you already have it. So in fact, I'll give you another secret. When you subscribe to Microsoft Office, you actually get 5 IDs. So 5 people can use it, and each of those people have 1 terabyte of space. So let's say that you are the only person using your Microsoft. You really have 5 terabytes of space, right, that you can use. So I would recommend that you use it. And I think a subscription to Microsoft Office is maybe $9, $10, maybe even less than that. So yeah, I know, it's $9.99, Patty says, right? And so I understand you don't want any more subscriptions, but in this case, I think I think it's worth it, right? You can get a lot more mileage out of that than the actual, very expensive for what you get, inexpensive for what you get. Okay, so upload your files to some place that you have offsite, not in your domain. Yes, Rhonda, that's per month. That's right, that's per month. I haven't seen you for a little while, Rhonda. Good to see you. Yeah, Jerome. Hey, Jerome. Jerome says a Dropbox account is $10 a month, and you get 1 terabyte. Okay, so we're going to go and get the link, right? We're going to go and get that link, right, that we just set up there. And then we're going to go back. I'm going to click on my properties button on the download account. See where that button says download now? I'm going to click on that button. I'm going to go and get the properties again, right? Just like I did with my PayPal button, I'm going to get the properties. And then I'm going to put that link inside of the properties of my download now button. Right? So if you get that, please put the number 6 in the question box. If you get that, if you're with me. Okay, fantastic. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move forward. And I'm going to save my page again, right? I'm going to save the page. Now, I'm going to go back now to Filezilla, and I'm going to go to the place where I have my changes saved. So Filezilla is going to give you 2 sides. On the left side, what you can do is you can click to the directory where you saved all those changes, right? Wherever you save those changes, you want to click that directory. And then what you're going to do is you're going to drag all those files over into your new directory, right? Wherever you set up your subdirectory, you're going to drag all those files you just saved over into your directory, right? Where we saved your changes. And it's going to look something like this, right? So you'll know your changes are taking place. All of your changes should be dated whenever you drag them over. Right now. Then what you want to do is you want to go to your subdirectory and make sure that your site is up, right? You want to make sure that your site is working. And one of the things I will share with you is that if you are using JVZoo, right? If you're using JVZoo, we have discovered, and a lot of our friends have discovered too, that for some reason JVZoo is sending all kinds of weird messages to people when they put their stuff on JVZoo, right? So what we've had to do is we've had to get in the chat with people. So if you're sort of wanting to kind of move quickly, um, you can use this PayPal method, right? For whatever reason, it's recent. We're trying to work with them. Other people are trying to work with them so that they stop doing this. You upload these files. JVZoo is sending you a message telling you that your site's not in compliance and all kinds of stuff. We're not really sure what's going on with them. So anyway, you want to check your subdirectory, and then you want to check your PayPal button. Right, your PayPal button, when you click it, should go to your shopping cart. Wherever you have your PayPal button set up, you want to check it. And then you want to check your download. Okay, so test your download link, and then you will then be ready then to start working with your content. Right, and it's going to be someplace, and that's going to be where your thank you page is actually going to be. Right, so any questions on getting your page installed to your site? So everybody with me so far, please put the number 7 in the question box. You're with me so far. Okay, great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I said that what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about another kind of installation, and where you can actually install your PLR on software, and it's another way to sell it, right? It's another way to sell your software, and I'm going to actually walk you through this process, and then we'll kind of show you the result of it. And some of you may have seen me deliver some of this. I'm going to show you now how you can actually create software with the actual PLR. You're looking at a software application called the Software Dash Builder. And what you're going to be able to do with this software is to take your PLR and actually put it into a format. I'm going to walk you through that process. Now, the place where I actually got the software gave me a number of templates that I can use. Some of them have Photoshop templates, and some of them actually have templates that I can actually alter. And so what I do first is go inside of Photoshop, and I will change the buttons to be what the components of my PLR will be, right? So I'll actually change what the buttons are going to be. I will then change the header also, right? And then what I will do is to create a brand new panel for the software, right? And I'll have all of my buttons in there. It'll be the very same size as the template. I will then incorporate that template back into the dashware builder. And then what I will do is I will take these dimensions that I have actually put together. I'll take these dimensions, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move those buttons over into my software so that it becomes clickable. So for example, I use these dimensions, 440, 562, 6532, down there where this button is clickable, and then I will set my dimensions on that button. And then I will make that button my exit menu, right? So when you actually create this menu, that button, when someone clicks it, it'll actually exit the software. And so I can go through this a number of different times. For example, the button that you're looking at there, I'm setting up so that the special offer will go to a link in my web browser. And then I will continue to work with these buttons and put them where I want these things to go. So for example, I can also set up a registration code so that the people that I give the software to, they can either do one of two things. Number one, if I'm selling this, they'll have to opt in order to get access to the content. If I'm giving this to my customer, who's a PLR customer, they can actually rebrand this software so that they can use it for their customers, right? So, and then what I will do is make this so that the customer can actually redo these buttons any way that they want to. So they can actually change these buttons to be what they want them to be. And again, that's if I'm selling the rebrandable portion, and if I'm selling the PLR to them, right? They can actually change these buttons to be what they want them to be. I will then make sure to put a resale right certificate in there so that they know that they cannot give the brander away. They can't sell the brander. I'll do the same thing for a video product, right? I will create video buttons, and again, all I'm really doing is changing the background. I'm going there, and I'm actually going to go and get a YouTube ID, and I'm going to put that YouTube ID so that the software opens up a YouTube ID. Okay, and Brian's asking, will this be the same basic steps if you were creating your own product? Yes. Yep, it would be the same basic steps if you're creating your own product. Okay, and again, I will make these videos all brandable here for the customer to either sell or to use. Right, so again, all these are ways that you can actually take the PLR that you have and you can actually add value to it. Now, one of the things that you benefit from by actually getting the software and doing this yourself is that you can actually sell the software, right? Can you use Vimeo instead? Yes. Right? Is the master resale rights included in the price of the software? Yes. Can you use Vimeo instead? Yes. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so then I will actually build the actual software. And then I make sure to add in tutorials, right? So I will create tutorials for the people who are actually going to get it. So if you decide you want to use your PLR, you want to create the software, and you want to give them software, make sure that you include tutorials on how to use it, right? So I'll include some front end and back end software tutorials. So that is another way for you to be able to monetize your PLR, is to create software. And I actually covered the business model to this. How many of you all have starting from scratch? How many of you all have the hackathon or starting from scratch? If you have starting from scratch, that's where I covered the business model of this. So you can actually go to Warrior Plus and you create an offer. That's how you're going to monetize this, right? So it's not just, create some software to look cool. You want to go to Warrior Plus, you want to go to places, you want to actually use the software in order to generate leads and then to make money. Okay, now, so again, if you want to pick up the software, you can pick that up at the plrshow.com/Dave, right? So that's, I'm just going to leave all that stuff there. Okay, now, the next stage is that you can actually put your content on Kunaki, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to kunaki.com and we're going to go and we're going to create a new product. Now, in this case, what you're going to do is you're going to create a data DVD or CD. Now, Kunaki will allow you to create a video CD or DVD, but you're going to create this for your information product, right? And so you want to make something that's going to be clickable. You can, if you just want to make a video DVD, you can actually use one of the other areas inside of Kunaki. Excuse me, but I would suggest that you use the data DVD or CD. Kunaki is going to give you the opportunity then to create some artwork, right? So you go through that process, and then you're going to upload your files. They're going to actually allow you to create a product where you're going to be able to get a review copy of it, so you can have a review copy sent to your house, or you can just put a link together for your sales process, right? When you put the link together, what's actually going to happen is, can everybody see where that little book there is at the bottom? What that's going to do is that's going to be, and I covered all this inside of Print On Demand Playbook. So if you have Print On Demand Playbook, this is where I covered this in detail. That's really why I'm kind of burning through this pretty fast, because I've already covered this inside of the course. Right now, this is what your customer is going to see when they actually go to your shipping area. Right, so that is really the entire setup process. Any questions so far? Any questions? Any questions on any of the three processes? Hey, thanks, Jerome. I appreciate that. Can you sell the disc on Amazon? Yes. Um, um, Heather, if you, I think you have print on demand playbook. I did a webinar um, yesterday, and that webinar covered how you would get them to Amazon, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to use the Amazon Advantage program, and you're going to use that through Kunaki. And what Kunaki does, they've got a back door into Amazon, and you're gonna sell those. You're gonna actually have Kunaki deliver those discs direct to Amazon, right? So they're going to deliver them direct to Amazon, and as they sell, you will then get the money. But Amazon's going to take probably about 55% of that, just so you'll know. Okay, Chris, you're asking about how you sell. How do I spell Kunaki? Is that what you're asking? Okay, Sean, Sean, you're asking, can you do the same with white label products? Yes, as long as you use Amazon Advantage. If you use Amazon FBA, what you're effectively communicating is that you have the copyright. And in most master resale rights, you don't have the copyright. What you do have is you have the distribution rights. So if you're going to sell a PLR product using Kunaki on Amazon, you need to use Amazon Advantage. Is Kunaki a service you pay for? Yes. Yep, yes it is. And let's see, Natu, if you are an Ultimate Insider, you do not have to buy print on demand. It's already in there. So just check the inside of the members area, and you'll get access to print on demand playbook. So no, you should not buy it. Kunaki, you pay Brian. You pay Kunaki by the disc. So if you buy them in bulk, you pay less, right? But you pay by the disc basically. All right. Any other questions? And Heather, yes, Laurel's a real person. um, Now the last 2 weeks I've talked more than I normally do, just because we just had this one thing, right? But typically on our Thursday nights calls, that's where Laurel talks more. As a matter of fact, Heather, if you have our starting from scratch, then she actually did the second webinar. Kunaki. Kunaki is spelled. Kunaki is spelled. Kunaki.com, and I'm going to put that in the box there. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put that in the chat area too. All right.
That's pretty funny. I am a real person.
All right. Any other question? Okay, once again, I mean, to pick up the rebrandable software, you can pick that up at the plrshow.com/Dave. One thing I will tell you is that I asked Dave to remove the discount. I don't think he did. So I think there is still a $100 discount if you use the code there, Fight On. So if you put the code in there, it still works. I just checked it today, in fact. So I'll write the code in here. If you use the code Fight On, I think there's still a $100 discount. And I don't know how long, because I'd asked Dave to take that down a little while ago, but he didn't. So if you go to the page and you get to the cart, you can put the code in there, Fight On, and it'll take off $100. When using the white label, let's see, Sean's question is, when you're using a white label product, can you use the original website when it wasn't given to you? Um, well, okay, there are a couple of things about that. When you buy a PLR product, you're going to put it on your domain, right? So really all you're doing is so really all you're doing is you're using the the name, right? You're using the name, and so you would not be using the website. You would be using the name. Yeah. Now, Jerome says people need to get it before Dave comes to his senses. That's the truth. Um, Sean, does that answer your question? Yeah. So basically, um, so basically, what you're doing is you're uh, you're using the name. You're going to change the name, really, right? You should change the name to something that doesn't even look like the original name. Now, I didn't cover that because I mean we'd be here all night if I got into branding it, rebranding it. But if you know a little bit of if you do you have some graphic editor, Sean? Do you have a graphic editor? Do you know a little Photoshop? Do you know a little, what is it, Usign or something? You have something like that? If you have something like that, yeah, okay, that answers your question. Okay, great. Uh-huh. Yep, Usign or GIMP, right? That's right. Where can I find the webinar replay? I will, it's actually going to come out automatically, Dale, in probably in about, I think in about 3 hours, it's going to come out. And I'm also going to send out an email tomorrow morning. Yeah, yeah. Jerome saying he knows how much Dave paid to get the white label rights. Yeah, I have an idea what he paid for it. Okay, Chris says the discount works. The discount does work. So you can still, so yeah, if you go to the plrshow.com and write in fight on, you can still get the actual software and Dave's templates. Yeah, and Dave actually does does a great job with the tutorials. I mean, you know, um, I do not like watching people's videos. I like creating videos. I don't like watching people's videos. And and Dave is one of the few people I can actually sit through and watch his videos all the way through. I don't know. I just yeah, I just have this thing about you know, watching other people's videos. Maybe that's vain. I don't know. Okay, so Sean, you're saying you really want to use the videos from the original website. When you say the videos from the original website, what do you mean? You say you want to use the videos from the original website. Are you talking about the sales videos, Sean? Well, the sales videos the to what sells the PLR would not be relevant. You get sales videos, right? So now what product are you talking about? What product are you talking about right now? When you talk about the videos from the original website, Vidne, Vidneos. I'm not sure what that product is in particular, but I think I understand your question. But see, if you're buying the PLR and you're selling resale rights, then those videos they would not be appropriate for you to sell, right? So you would be redoing the videos anyway, right? If I understand you right, because you know technically, unless you are a reseller, right? And the other thing is, and Jerome brings up a good point. If you were changing the name of the product, you'd want to have your own video anyway, right? Okay, you have white label rights to the product. Um, I would still, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, um, I would still do the videos in your own voice because you're going to be sending people to that page probably through a bridge page, and it's a disconnect sometimes. It's a disconnect if see, let's say that, and I've experienced this before, right? If I buy the white label rights to a software program, and then I pre-sell the thing. Let's say I send people to a bridge page, and then I'm saying, okay, this is cool, blah blah blah. This is what you get. This is my bonus, and then they go to a page that here's something else, right? It's a little bit of a discount. One of the reasons why you get drop off is because of the disconnect. So anytime you can make the connection yourself, right? That matters. So even if you have a white label video, right? I would redo it in my own voice just so that people don't disconnect, right? And people don't think rationally about these things. And this is not me saying this is every copywriting book I've ever read that says people think irrationally. So they hear you, and then their brain hears something else, and then it just shuts off, right? They just say, oh, they don't even know why they don't like it. The brain just shuts off, and sometimes they might even want the product. They'll go away from it, right? And so if you can, I would just say that if you can just redo the video yourself, in my opinion, right? It's confusion, right? It's kind of like, oh, I was listening to Charles, and now it's it's Brian, right? So okay, so Chris's question is, will the rebrandable software work if you have your own product? Yeah, because and actually it's better if you have your own product. As a matter of fact, the way I really would rather use the software is use my own, right? Because I could go to Warrior Plus with an original product and the software, and I can create something that nobody else can have. Now, if I go to Warrior Plus with something that somebody else created because I got the rights to it, that's great. In most cases, nobody's going to do it except for me, right? Maybe a few other people, right, who have the software, they might do it, right? But there's so many PLR products in the world that the chances of somebody doing the exact same one I do would be minimal. But if I went to the Warrior Plus with my own product and I gave the software, then that would be even more original, right? And I'd stand a better chance of getting more eyeballs. The other thing is I didn't even do this tonight. Is you could take the software and you could create an executable file, and then you could put that on Kunaki, right? You could put an executable file on Kunaki with the software, and then you can give that to somebody, right? Even another way to do that. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, great questions, everybody. Okay, everybody. Well, the replay will be available. I'll try to get it out tonight. Now, to get the replay tonight, it's going to come from GoToWebinar, right? So it'll have my name, and it's normally the email from GoToWebinar that we always delete, right? It's the one that says thank you for coming, so on and so forth. And I'm always inclined to delete those, but this one will have the replay in it. So if you want to see the replay, it will be inside of that video. Yeah, so Chris is asking, can the software do songs and video for singers? Yeah, that'd be a good way. So let's say that you wanted to play. I mean, really, you can play anything, right? You could have it open up an audio file, I think, and you could actually have it go to a video, audios, videos, PDF, even other software. So you could open up other software, right? You could open up other software. Yeah, Heather, I do have one. As a matter of fact, let me see. I have one that I created. Let me see. Oh, guys, I'm serious talking to me. It's listening to me. All these devices are listening to us these days. Okay, I'm sorry about this. I'm gonna have to. Good gracious, I have to turn my smartphone off because it's listening to me. I have to pull the battery. Jerome says I have to pull the battery out. I'm not. Oh, I'm pulling the battery out. All right, I gotta find the software I did. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Where's the software that I did? I think it's here. Okay, so I think this is a bonus that I did, right? So I don't even know if this one's still. I don't. You know what? I don't. I need to find one where I still have it, and I don't know where I still have it. Maybe this is it. Yeah, I don't know where I still have this thing, Heather. I have one someplace that it still is in operation. And I don't know where it is. Uh, this might be it. Heather's asking if I use it enough to justify the price. I use it. And I'll tell you where I use it the most is I try to use it to create bonuses and to add value, right? And I also use it. I don't even know if I want to say where I use it, but really, um, really, the best thing to do with this, Heather, is lead generation, right? So I can't think of a better way to generate leads on Warrior Plus, right? So there's the PDF that comes out of there. So here's what I did. Here's what I did, and I don't mind telling you this because the people that got the bonus really got something, because I did work for them, right? So basically, I can do one or two things to provide a bonus, right? I could, if somebody buys a PLR product through my affiliate link, I could do the install for them, right? I could do that. And actually, it would not be me doing it, it would be Sydney doing it. Or what I could do is I could give them something that they could use. And so a couple of times what I have done is I've given people, I've actually gone to the affiliate and I've to the vendor and I've said, hey, you know what, I'm going to be promoting your product tomorrow. I want to do a bonus for the people that are going to buy through my link. And so I will take the time to actually create the software for the people who buy through my link. So they're getting something, right? They're getting something, a really high value bonus that, quite frankly, and I don't say this to kind of put myself up there. It's better than most bonuses that are going to be delivered on a PLR product. When I do this, I don't always have time to do it, but when I can do it, I know this bonus is better than just about any other one that's going to be offered. Right? I know that. So that is definitely one thing. And the other thing I would definitely do, and I did cover this in starting from scratch. I covered this starting from scratch, but um, I would go to Warrior Plus, and I would offer this on the front end. You can give the software. On the back end, you can give rebrandable rights. Right, Heather. So Heather, you're asking if they buy it for the PL, if they buy it through my affiliate link, will I give them the brander? Yeah, sometimes I will. Yep, I will give them the rebrand rights. So yeah, I have done that. And again, I mean, I could sell that to them easily. So I think when people know that if I offer that as a bonus, they're getting a deal, right? And I could give them, I could pile up a lot of PLR on people, right? And I still may do that. And I can also give them something they could use to actually go. They could take, if somebody got this bonus, right? Somebody got this as a bonus. They may, whether they knew this or not, they could go straight to the Warrior Plus and start using it to generate leads. They could take this soft, and so for me, it's a win-win. I put a few hours in, I put a few hours in to create the software because I create the background, I put the links in there, I make sure it works, and then they get it. So they're going to buy through my affiliate link, right? But they get the win too because they actually not only do they not have to install the PLR to make money, they can then take this and go and generate leads with it, right? And I haven't even taught anybody yet how to put this on a CD. Eventually, I'm going to just show people how they really should be using it, and that's to create an executable file, put it on a CD, right, and increase the value of it, right? That's really the best way of doing that. Now, generating leads on Warrior Plus is good, but I would even go one step further and put this on a CD or DVD. I have not taught that part of this yet, but I am going to. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so Val's question is, if you want to offer a discount to your list, how would you create a code to your customers to use on PayPal at checkout? What you would do, Val, is you would create a different button and a different page in your in a different directory, right? So you would actually do a second if you're going to do it through PayPal. Now I think there's a uh, I'm pretty sure there is a way to do a discount. I would, I think that the way you have to do it is to create a different button. I think that's the way you do it. I don't think there's a way to do a discount, but I'll look that up. I'll look that up. I don't think that I don't think there's a way. But that's a good question. I'll look that up. If you will remind me, I will look that up. Okay, any other questions? Okay, everybody, if you have gotten if you've gotten a little value out of this, what I'd like for you to do is to do me a favor. And if you go to the plrshow.com/USUW, and I'm going to put that in the chat box here. That's just a place for you to be able to put a little feedback in there. If it sounds good, we'll put you on our site. Or, in the future, just a place if you want to put a testimonial in there, that would really help us. And what we'll do is, for those of you who do that, then we'll pass the slides to this along to you, right? So you put your feedback in there. It doesn't have, now if you have feedback that's bad, right? I guess you could put that in there too. We'll pass the slides along to you. If you if you give us a little feedback at that URL, the plrshow.com/USUW. That's for the Ultimate Setup webinar. I did? I mixed up the URL. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so let me put it in here again and do it the right way. USUW. And let me just make sure that works. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, that should work. Let's put this in here. I'm going to put there, and I'll put this in the chat box also. All right, so any other questions, anybody? Any last questions before we pull out of here? And again, I honestly don't know, that's where it's supposed to take you, Heather. It should take you to that Aweber page. That's where it's supposed to go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how much longer Dave's going to have that up. Again, I asked him not to have it up anymore. He does, so you can still use the code FIGHTON, and you can actually get the discount. Okay, everybody. So, yeah, Jerome, who's close to Dave, says you are going to be paying more later. That's for sure, and you're going to be paying a lot more, $247. So I don't know what Dave's doing with that, but I've known Dave for a little while, and he allowed me to run this for a short time to my community, but I don't know how much longer he's going to do that. All right, everybody. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you all. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.
Good night, everyone.